Now, you've clicked the magic link button in the email that you were sent, you'll be taken to this homepage. At the top here, it will welcome you by your name and the organization that you work for. Scrolling down, you'll see this button or this section on the right-hand side, which is where you will find all of the information around your survey and the survey report. Here, you'll be able to drop down the menu and select which survey you want to look at that moment in time. For this one, we'll just use the survey that's available. So we'll go to view your report, and this will take you through to the survey report section of audience answers. Here at the top, you'll see the name of the survey that you're viewing, and underneath that, you'll see a date range. This date range is the dates that your respondent has said that they've visited your organisation. So for this organisation, we've got Monday the 12th of December through to Thursday the 21st of September 2023. Underneath, you'll see how many responses you've currently got. So this organisation has got 16 responses, and it tells you as well how many of those respondents have refused to interview if they have. Next to this, you will see a filter button for date ranges. So if you are doing any reporting for any kind of funders or anything like that, you're able to filter by date of what you need to put into any kind of report or show any statistics of a specific time period. We'll leave it as it stands for this example, but it's very, very quick and easy to just click what you need and update the report as and how you need to. Underneath, you will find two sets of graphs or tables relating to the data that you've collected from your respondents. The questions that you will see in this report are all of the core questions that will be within your survey. If you're looking for any additional question information, you will find that in the CSV that's available to download at the top here, but we'll come back to that a bit later. So using this question as an example, just to run through how it looks on a screen, you've got the question group that each question belongs to at the top, and underneath the question that your respondent has been asked, and whether or not that question is a single choice, multiple choice, a drop-down question, just so that you can refresh your memory when you're looking at the data. Underneath this, you've got a nice table, and next to that, a graph. So however you would like to view that data, you're able to do so. In the top right-hand corner of the graph, you'll see that there is a small hamburger menu that you can drop down, and there's options here for you to either view the specific data in full screen, you can print it, you can download it, or you can just download the CSV of that specific data. However you want to use the data, it's there for you to manipulate. So if you, for example, wanted to use this specific question in a funder report, and you wanted to view it in this way, you could download it as a JPEG and insert it into any kind of report. Drawing attention to the top right part of the question, you'll see a small code that might not make much sense, but this is the code that your question is based off of. If you're ever needing to contact us because your data doesn't look quite right, or you're not sure if something's pulled through or anything like that, if we could ask you to reference this code, it will take us a lot less time to kind of find where we need to look to check your query. Underneath the graph and chart, you will find a small piece of text about how many respondents have answered this question. For the top section of your report, which is all to do with the attitudinal questions that the respondent has been asked, you'll likely find that the respondent rate is the same as what you see at the top of the report. So for this example, 16 respondents have answered this question. However, when you move further down the report into the demographic questions that your respondents will have answered, you may find that this number drops or changes or alters. The reason for that is in that second part of the survey, they are able to just say that they don't want to answer any specific questions for any reason, which is why you might see a change in those numbers. Underneath the section about how many respondents you've had for each question, you'll find this button that says view this question individually. This button's here because for some questions within the survey, your respondents will be able to respond with more than one answer to that question, or there may be a range of questions, a range of answers that they can pick from. So let's find a question where this button would come in useful. So this question here is one of our communication questions, and it's a multiple choice question where the respondent is able to select as many responses as they want to. Because this question has so many options for the respondent to choose from, we do it so that the question is to view individually. So if you click through, you'll see it's very much the same as what you were looking at before, with the information about the question at the top, the question itself, what type of question it is, and how many responses or what date frame we're using for that particular question. Underneath, again, same thing, graph and a chart that shows how many responses and the percentage of responses, or you can kind of hover over the graph on the right hand side. And you can see how many responses they have to choose from. Using this kind of separate page just means that you're able to view that data individually and dive into it if you really want to. Another example question that we can look at where this button is really useful is the free text response question. So if we scroll down to find that question there, which is this one. This question is a ratings question where respondents are able to give a free text response about their visit. Organisations find this question really useful because it gives just that little bit more information about what that respondent did or found interesting or maybe not so interesting during their visit. You're able to view the data again, both in that graph and the chart view if you want to, but when you have a number of responses, viewing the question individually is really useful because it will give you the full range of responses. Because this organisation's only got 16, because our example organisation's only got 16 responses, you're only going to get a small number here, but usually this list would be quite long and exhaustive. The really good and useful benefit of the table on the left hand side is that if somebody's used the same response more than once, you're able to see. So for this organisation, they've got no, somebody's put they don't want to give anything further twice. But you may find that somebody's said exactly the same thing about a specific exhibition or a specific show that you've got on at your venue, and seeing how many responses there are to that specific event or might be quite useful for you. The final thing to mention about the survey report is that specifically in those early days of collection, you may find that within the report you see this response, which is we don't have enough data to show a table for this question. It may be that your respondents haven't used that question for whatever reason. So in this instance, it's that all of the people who have attended on their own, or they haven't visited with somebody outside of this list above. It's nothing to worry about, though. If you do have any queries, please do email us and let us know, and we can just double check the data for you and provide any reassurance that you need. We're very aware that some organisations don't perhaps want to use the survey or the graph option within any funder reports, or simply they're looking for their data in a quick and easy format that they can share with maybe everybody in their organisation. That's why at the top of the page, as I mentioned earlier, we've got the download the full survey data as a CSV. When you click this button, you'll be taken to a CSV of your data, or you'll be able to download a CSV of your data that looks a little bit like this. This includes all the information about all of the core questions that you've asked within your survey, as well as any additional questions that you've asked within your survey. And this is where you'll find that data. It's quite a large file and can be quite long, so be sure to scroll across. But if you've got any questions or can't find any of the data that you're looking for within the CSV, again, just let us know by emailing support@theaudienceagency.org, and one of the team will be able to get back to you to provide you with more information and support that way.